Hey geeks, Mithrandiel here again with another poll. This week is a little bit of a shorter stack than usual, only a few books here, but some real gems in this week's stack. So starting off with King Spawn number 5. So King Spawn, I mentioned in an earlier review, I really appreciate it because as someone who isn't super invested in Spawn lore and the background of Spawn, I found the story very accessible. I still find it very accessible, and so I've really been enjoying the series so far. I will say a slight twist in my previous comments about it being accessible. I really feel like the reveal at the end of this issue has even more impact for folks who have been following the series for some time, because when the reveal happened, I was like, okay, that's interesting, but I wasn't like, oh my god. So that might have been more of a response for folks who have been following the series for a while. But regardless, I'm still really enjoying King Spawn. Some great writing, some great art, gruesome, fun, love it. Speaking of gruesome fun, BRZRKR number 6 is here, and I said it I made a Facebook post about this a little while back, but this series has no business being as good as it is, right? No disrespect to Mr. Reeves. Of course, Keanu Reeves is a legend in so many ways, but I was totally expecting this to be a very surface level, not very engaging action series, and what instead we've gotten out of it is a much more sort of reflective piece amidst all the violence, of course. But I really enjoyed this issue. A fun little excursion. Not fun, really. They're fighting for survival. He's fighting for survival with a colleague, basically a fellow soldier. But some really good opportunities for development, learning a bit more about the character. So I really enjoyed it. I've got BRZRKR continuing to be on my poll list. So good stuff. And I'm telling you, they're all bangers this week, really. They've all been really good, including Eternals. Eternals number 8. Kieran Gillen, his time on Eternals has been phenomenal. So the first few issues kind of were a slow ramp, but honestly, ever since Thanos has gotten more involved, and then since the Thanos Rises special and beyond, this is an extremely engrossing storyline that Gillen's put together here. And there is a really great moment with Druig and Thanos in this issue that I think a lot of folks will love, especially longtime fans of Eternals. So, great series so far. Loving it. Keeping it on my poll. I love everything that Gillen does, but this particular run has been great. Amazing. We've got Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley's Hulk, number 2. So, that landed this week as well. And Donny Cates is a great writer, of course. I feel like I'm still trying to piece together exactly what it is that Donny is trying to do with this story, however. And so it's still hard for me to kind of wrap my head and my hands around it. Unlike, when he kicked off with Thor and things like that, or even with Venom, I feel like he found his footing pretty quickly on those. This one, I feel like he's still kind of feeling out the character and the story. So not getting that trademark reliability, I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm not as in love with the writing as I typically would be with a Cates book. However, Ryan Ottley is a freaking genius. So seeing his art is like a breath of fresh air. I love his style, and he's doing some pretty gruesome stuff in here. Granted, of course, Ewing's Immortal Hulk had plenty of body horror and kind of gross stuff going on in it as well. But of course, Ottley's trademark violence in Invincible carries over. There's definitely some elements of that here in this Hulk book, and I am enjoying the book. It's like 70-30. 70% of it's because of Ottley's art, and then 30% because of Cates' writing. So hopefully that kind of balances out a bit more going forward, and we can enjoy some more of that Cates narrative. So far, it's Ollie's art that's really carrying this series for me. Cloaked. This is a new series from Dark Horse. It's an interesting tale, really. It kind of takes a twist on the vigilante justice archetype. And so there's this mysterious hero that appeared and wreaked vigilante havoc for a while and then sort of disappeared. And now many years later, an eccentric billionaire is interested in tracking down who this person was and hires a sort of roughshod, under the radar PI to try and seek him out. And his first interview is with a very brief, a basically boy wonder, like a accomplice sidekick that had a very brief stint with this hero. I put hero in quotes, actually, and basically trying to figure out more information on who this person was. Very interesting. I'm enjoying it. I'd say, I'm definitely interested in continuing to follow the story. It's definitely taking the vigilante story and kind of turning it on its head. Like, what if people treated Batman like they, like, what if it was Batman, but, like, not nearly as refined, right? Where do you draw the line between, justice and heroism and that sort of thing? So, interesting story. I'm enjoying it so far. Got that detective element to it, but I feel like there are other stories that are doing elements of this book better right now, like in terms of suspense, like Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, in terms of mystery, Human Target. So maybe it's because there are just a lot of really great books out right now, but it didn't quite clear those higher targets that I had. It still was a good book, don't get me wrong. I'm probably going to keep checking it out, but like, you'll probably see or hear some echoes in the story compared to some other runs that are happening right now that are doing it better. So, totally up to you. I would say check out the first issue, though. Okay, this book that I'm about to show you, I was a little slow on it, but this is probably one of my favorite books from this year. Wonder Woman Historia, Book 1. This book is phenomenal. And it's phenomenal for so many reasons. First of all, the art is like next level. The art is like, put it in a frame, put it in the Smithsonian. It's amazing art. It's just all really, really good stuff. Secondly, it's a retelling of the Wonder Woman origin story, but in a way that's worthy of gods. It has this creation myth feeling to it, and really gives you a good appreciation for the scale, the cosmic scale of, Wonder Woman and her history and all this other stuff. Obviously, it's very timely, and it highlights a lot of struggles that women have gone throughout history, and really adds a lot of power behind that narrative as well. And so it's just amazing. It's book 1. It's in a beautiful oversized magazine format. There's also a variant leather-bound cover. I believe that's $15. I think the standard cover is like $8 or $9, and the leather-bound's $15. It's gorgeous. It's wonderful. The writing is great. The story is amazing. Get it. Go and get it. And buy it for friends who like comics and have them read it. And buy it for friends who don't like comics and have them read it. Because it's really good. I am very much looking forward to the oversized hardcover version of this when it inevitably comes out. But in the meantime, this is book 1 of, I'm not sure exactly how many issues there are going to be. I'll look that up and I'll add it in the bottom or something. But pick up this book. Find it. Buy it. It's amazing. Background spotlight today. I've got Lucifer, book 1, and Thanos this week. So Lucifer by Mike Carey. It's very hard to follow in the footsteps of Sandman. So I've got the omnibuses here. Sandman 1 through 3, of course. Neil Gaiman's modern epic that really is a one of the cornerstones of modern comic book storytelling. And so kind of taking one of those central characters and spinning out a grand narrative for this very interesting character. Mike Carey does it. I mean, it's amazing. It's a fantastic book. And so if you haven't checked it out before, definitely check it out. You can typically find the omnibus formats at a decent price, a good sale price. So don't even think about paying cover for them, but you can pick up both the volumes. You know, if you're looking around online like Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something, probably between $100 to $120, you can get both this one and volume 2, which is up here. Fantastic, really good stuff. And then of course Donny Cates' Thanos run. The hardcover collection is one of the best stories that Donnie's told in the Marvel Universe, in my opinion. So, Cosmic Ghost Rider is involved, Silver Surfer Black is involved. Well, not Silver Surfer Black, version of Silver Surfer. But just an amazing narrative. If you haven't checked it out before, very, very good stuff. And probably one of my favorite stories that I've read in quite some time in terms of comics. So those are my background spotlights. Again, not a scripted video series, just kind of sharing what I'm reading each week. And I hope that you are enjoying them, just completely off the cuff based on what I've read and what I'm enjoying. And if you enjoy this sort of video and this sort of thing, feel free to like and subscribe, and check out more of our content at thegeeklygrind.com, where we cover all manner of geek content, D&D, video games, comics, you name it, we cover it in some fashion. So thank you again for tuning in. Have a great week, geeks. See you later.